3 headlands, so we're more than halfway. So we might end up with about 1.2, 1.25 million litres of silage in that bunker. Fine by me. We'll go and cut that corner off as well at some point. Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of a difference between kids' TV cartoons and kids' cartoon movies. There are a lot of very adult jokes I've noticed, at least today, in modern sort of kids' cartoon movies. Now, when I was watching cartoon movies as a kid, I don't remember seeing those jokes, but potentially they were there. It's just that they go way over the head of the kids. But with movies, you need to keep the adults entertained because they have to sit in the movie with the kids. With kids' TV, you can go and cook them supper while they're watching cartoons. So it's not necessarily something that the parents are going to watch. 10 litres of additive left. Still 57% grass seed. Oh, sorry. I'll speed up a bit. I think, as far as this map goes, I think we're at the point where we can see this. We have the potential to be very successful on this map, so long as we don't grow too fast. But growth is controllable. I did not check. Let's. Six. Oh, I'm full. Oh, darn. Trying to set up cruise control so I could go and look some things up, and I'm full. But yeah, I mean, that said, I have watched a couple of really old cartoon shows which actually were quite good and still are. Or at least I would consider them still to be. Although they, at the time they were more teenage cartoons rather than 5-year-old cartoons. Teenage cartoons tend to have a little bit more story to them than whatever. Although modern teenage shows are just painful. I mean, the shows I used to watch had stories, had interesting plots and what have you, and today's teenage shows seem to be very inane and very low. I don't want to say low intelligence, but it's sort of, you don't have to think about them. They're purely entertainment, but a lot of the time they are absolutely ridiculous. But again, maybe that's where I live. I mean, when I was growing up, I was in England, and a lot of English shows tend to be quite thought-provoking at times. Generally a better class of entertainment. Shut that off and try and drive out of there. We are really stuck. Okay, really stuck. Let's what am I having issues with? I am having issues with traction on the rear wheels. C, okay. This is getting really messy. I might need to... Even the superpower of a Class Arian is not getting us out of that problem. Yay. And start tipping again. Let's try and fill in that edge of the bunker. There now. How'd that work out? I'm not sure. Slightly better than it was. So, real world time, 11:30. I think Mrs. Osa's getting up since the kids opened the bedroom door, and I will check. Yes. Mrs. Osa is up. So I have to think about finishing off here and getting ready to go to the store. I have no idea what we're doing for lunch. And when we're going Sam's Club, we could just go to Sam's Club, do some shopping and buy some seriously oversized hot dogs. But yeah, it's, I mean, as an example of differences between British TV and American TV. British TV has soaps. The soaps tend to be in the evening. They tend to have storylines. And, you know, they're not the greatest. But one thing I've noticed about British soaps is there's hubbub. I mean, the famous one is EastEnders, has an actor who plays a milkman, or at least he used to. And, you know, his lines would be sort of morning gov, and he would just walk around the set delivering milk to each of the houses on the set. And you'd have the clink in the background of the noise of it happening. And American soaps are, one, the storylines are completely weird, but two, it's a soundstage. Yeah, everybody's quiet except the people who are talking to each other. There's no, you're in a pub in an English soap. There's music in the background. There's the general hubbub of people talking in the background, and you just don't get that on American soaps. It's weird. So I appreciate British soaps. I don't particularly enjoy watching them, but they are generally more realistic, at least in situation, if not in story, than American soaps. Yeah, if you go, what's it? Sam's is like Costco. They end up with like foot long hot dogs or 1.5 long hot dogs, and they're dirt cheap. I mean, seriously cheap. They probably don't make any profit on them, considering they have to cook them and what have you, and you have all of the bits on them. But the point is not that you're going there to have lunch. You know, it's not like a restaurant where that is their income. With places like Sam's and Costco, you're going there to buy stuff, and they're making a ton of money on the stuff you're buying. So, you know, loss leader hot dog. While you're here, have a hot dog. Stay and shop more. Spend more of your money on stuff that makes us a profit. Anyway, okay, so what was I going to check on before? Oh, I was going to look at field prices. So let's line this thing up on the line and go. That looks about straight enough. We don't have long before it fills up though. So, who are you? What are you doing? Oh, you're the seeder. He's nearly finished that, by the looks of it.
Hi.
Yeah. He's just working his way round to, looks like, maybe the last row. Crops, farmland. Okay, so this field here, 32% off. This would be a good field to buy if I had money. These fields are at plus 52%, so not going to be looking at those for a while. That's plus 20. This is the field just to the south of the one we're doing. Also expensive. There's a couple of fields over there which we could consider. Plus 90, good grief, yeah. But ideally I want these, but at plus 50% it's really not worth it, and I nearly made it to the end of the field, but unfortunately we were empty way before then.
Hi. Hi.
Oops, I just killed stuff. Yeah, hot dogs, okay. I may suggest that to Mrs. Osa before we start making lunch here. Although that said, I think Teenage Osa is planning to make pigs in a blanket, which is basically hot dogs in crescent rolls, or chopped up hot dogs in crescent rolls. Having lots and lots and lots of hot dogs in one day, probably not the greatest plan. But I think they also do pizza slices at Sam's as well, so maybe we'll have a pizza slice for lunch and then hot dogs later. Oh man, I just killed a load of maize. That sucks. And we may be down to possibly our last truckload, especially since I just murdered a bunch of maize. We'll see how that works. Although I don't want too much more because we are getting a little bit close to the front of this bunker. At least this end bit is looking fairly tidy. Yeah, sort of kind of tidy-ish. Let's tip that there. Yeah, I don't want much more than another cart or two here because we will be overflowing the front of the bunker at that point. Anyway. So yeah, I think those 4 grass fields have come down to, I think the lowest they were plus 16% on price. They've never been cheap. Most of the other fields we've picked up have been 50% off or 30% off. So good value for money. pick up a field when you can. That's why I'm saying that other field over there, it's 126,000, but it's a really good field to have, except we've got £40,000 and a couple of thousand in debt, and I just really can't afford to buy that right this minute. How do I do this? I need to turn this as sharply as I can that way. Oh yeah. Four-wheel steering for the win. Yeah. Okay, so maybe one full cart, maybe a partial run, dear run. Because this is looking, yeah, we do not have a full row up here. And then we just have the little triangle. So as soon as we get to the top, I want to go and park in the corner. Get that corner section. Yes. And I've seen that done in real life. The tipper doesn't even go into the bunker. They just dump the chaff at the entrance to the bunker, and then a huge wheel loader just scoops it all up and pushes it into the bunker, and then rolls it flat until the next cart arrives. It's definitely a good way to do it, and it's the way I did it on the old stream farm way back in 17. But for right now, I'm limited to what I have, and what I have is a huge ass Zerian, which works okay. Now I want to jump in you, send the worker home, and go and tidy up a bit. This might be a little bit difficult to get back on the course. Because that row is not very big. Back it up. And I guess we'll see how we do. For right now, I kind of wanted to clean that up because that's probably a couple of thousand litres. And now I am going to turn the eyeballs on so we can see. I think if I air to the left, that should work fine. Turn those off and get back in the Zerian. Go. Yay, go. Okay, so we're at 16,000. I'm not sure we've got a full trailer here, so that's good. Yes, the problem I found using Courseplay is if I try and set it back to... Oh, set it back on a previous course. So I could set it going northbound on the road that's already been cut. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Because obviously the issue I have is when I'm picking up rows right at the edge of the centre part, you can end up with equipment just running off doing the headlands again, which is not always convenient. Whoa, that's a rough piece of ground there. Alrighty, that is done. And still looking for a replacement side panel for Farming Simulator. As time goes by, the buttons on this one are getting more and more less and less reliable, and so buying a new one is definitely a thing. Unfortunately, I've got the choice of a farming simulator rig that costs about $400. I could get the Logitech side panel again, which is only about 160, and the Thrustmaster Farm Sim kit is sold out and has been since November. I kind of like the look of the Thrustmaster one, but who knows when that's next going to be back in stock. Although last week we did have the Mrs. Osa's PC USB circuit blew up on the motherboard, which is a problem because that's where we plug the keyboard and mice and half the other things in. So new PC for her. That's set up now. It actually didn't take that long. So that's a good thing. And it does now mean that I have a PC box with a useless motherboard that I could cannibalise for a PC upgrade rather than buying me a brand new PC for $2,000, $2,500. I could just buy the spare parts that I need and assemble a new PC. My usual concern is I want a PC available, so what I don't need is for my PC to be unavailable for an extended period while I assemble a new one. But that said, if I've got all the parts, I can, if I've got all the spare parts, I can just assemble a new one and then swap them over once the new one's finished. We'll see how that works out. Also got a ton of other stuff I need to buy and costs money. The Honda needs a service. The Honda heating has broken, but that may be that's something that is common to the Honda Odyssey, so I'm not too worried. Most of it says fixing it is fairly cheap because it's just it's a cheap piece of equipment that fails. So but that we need to take the time out to do that. The Saab is still working. That's been in the garage for most of the snowing period. But Mrs. Osa got that out this week because she had to go places and fancied taking the car. So the car works, so we can put this week would be such a good time to put the Honda in because the kids aren't going to be here next weekend. We only have 3 people that we need to transport around. We need the minivan when we have the kids in over. Maybe we'll give them a call. I suppose we'll have to wait till Monday. We can give them a call on Monday and book the Honda in for a service. And then, but that's an expense. I'm going the wrong way. Where's this guy? Actually.
Hi.
Oh, missed. This guy. Let's turn this on. We did that. Generate new field course. Back, and we actually start here. That's kind of convenient. Okay, you can start. And while he's unfolding, I can jump back in this guy. And Start the engine. Get him back to the yard. And it looks like we are going to need to... Well, actually, this field is definitely smaller than the last one because we have used way less diesel
Are you still playing?
on this one.
Yeah, I just want to go and talk to me.
Okay.
I'm bored.
And turn that off.
Showering.
I need to ask him.
Mom is gonna make me a second
Just eat what I already making, dude.
What?
Won't you just eat what I already making?
Okay, so what is the time? The time is 11:47. I think we'll start wrapping this up now as we bring everybody back to the yard. I will get the silage compacted off camera. We'll put... Oh, I need to go that way. And refill harvester. Yes, indeed. I think the harvester, I will probably... How does that look? You probably could do with a wash, but apart from that, that is good to put away. It does need diesel. It doesn't need a service.
Ask her mac and cheese or french fries.
Okay.
Okay, there's the water thing, so we'll jump out, we'll wash this. I guess we're not having hot dogs at Sam's because teenagers is too impatient to figure out what everybody else wants for lunch. She just wants to do her thing, which is common. I can't be bothered to wait to find out what our plans are. I just want to do my thing, and then, oh, well, we're actually planning to do something else. Well, too late because I've already done my thing. Okay. Let's put... Oh, actually managed to crash it into the shed. Let's try that one again. So, this harvester not going to be needed until next year in August. So it can sit here and cost us money for a while.
Tater tots.
Turn that off. That I'm going to need to go around this field and patch in what the dude didn't do. But for the most part, it's done, and I'll do that off camera. May plant the other field with grass as well. But for now, I wish you all a good Saturday. Have a good week. We'll be back next week with far less disruptions in the background.
Bye.
Enjoy your hot dogs, and I'm out of here. Have
Bye.
fun, everyone.